The billboard said, life is short, get a divorce. And they found some technicality to get that billboard ripped down in Chicago because people were complaining about it. But joining us on the line from Chicago is Corri Fetman. She is founding partner and president of the law firm of Fetman, Garland and Associates. Thanks for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
Now,
how are you?
I'm doing great. You don't believe this was some kind of a zoning issue, do you?
No, I don't, actually. How about you?
No, I don't.
I don't. I think it's politics.
I don't know if you've ever heard our show before or heard of it, but the message of your billboard is pretty much the message of our show to men who listen. We tell them that they should, certainly in California, where if you're married 10 years or more, you pay alimony for the rest of your partner's life.
Are you serious?
That is correct.
Wow.
Yes, and so
that's a death sentence.
Well, we tell guys to do a gut check at year 7 or 8 and make sure you're in this for the long haul, because if you stay past year 10, you might as well stay forever. And so this is an issue we talk about a lot, and I encourage many unhappy men and women who call this show that they should avail themselves of divorce and not worry about consequences like, well, for example, they're all worried about their children. And so many people these days have co-parenting arrangements and joint custody. It really doesn't make sense for your kids to see you miserable.
Exactly.
Fighting. And hiring a good attorney is something that, well, I have 12 attorneys on retainer for various purposes.
I'm sure you do.
And I've been divorced 4 times, so I'm well aware of the services of a good attorney. How did this all start? Tell us the story.
Oh, my God. You know, we're known as, we have the same kind of reputation as you. We're known as these gutsy women out here. It's an all-women's law firm, and we represent mostly men. About, I would say, more than 50% men. So we were sitting around one day and just talking about advertising and how boring it is and how law firms, you know, they have the little guys in the suits or the little women in the suits and how boring it is. And we wanted to do something different and something that depicts what we are, which are, you know, gutsy, aggressive divorce attorneys. So, for example, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on here, but like Fox is portraying, you know, the Bible thumpers are portraying us as Satan. There's these blogs all over the Internet that says we're Satan.
Really?
I'm getting death threats.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I could hire Satan as my attorney, I'd put him on retainer immediately.
I'll put my ears on, okay?
Wow.
Not a problem.
Satan. But you guys, again, you know, advertising has to reflect the way people live and the way people think. I'm in the advertising business. You're in the law business. I'm in the advertising and marketing business.
Right.
And you know, when you run an ad for it to be effective, it's got to speak the way people speak, and it's got to say things that people actually think the way they think.
And we're saying something that everybody wants to say. That's the problem. It's also thought-provoking. I mean, when you have a controversial ad campaign, there's 2 reasons to advertise. 1, you want to get your name out there, and 2, you want to have a message. And lawyers need to get with the times.
Well, I happen to believe there are many, because we talk to them, they call us. I happen to believe there are many people out there right now, married 3, 4, 5, 6 years, and marriage is just not what it was cracked up to be. They're in debt, they're miserable, they married a crazy person, whatever. And many of them, just out of inertia, they don't leave. They stay there. They're afraid it's going to be too much hassle to get divorced, going to cost too much money.
And then their whole life passes them by.
Exactly.
And then they're miserable.
Yes.
And then they say, and then they come in here and they said, God, why didn't I do this sooner? This whole load is lifted.
I'm still waiting for an attorney to use the old line about why does the divorce cost so much? You know that line, right?
No.
Because it's worth it.
Never heard that one, believe it or not.
Maybe that's your next billboard.
Exactly. Are you going to run our ad campaign then?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're not on in Chicago anymore, but I certainly would be.
Why not?
Well, you know, you want to give the station a call and find out, because we were on till a couple of weeks ago, and now we're not. But I must say that I would certainly, if they were not officially accepting your ads, I would certainly have you on a regular basis just to get your message across, because I think it's a message people need to get.
I agree with you 100%.
Let's take some phone calls here, if you don't mind. Would that be okay?
That would be wonderful.
Great, let's take them. We're talking with Corri Fetman. She's the founding partner and president of the law firm of Fetman, Garland & Associates. They're based in Chicago. Their billboard said, "Life is short, get a divorce." And it's been torn down. They claim it's some arcane zoning reason that it was torn down. But we all know it's another violation of our free speech. That's what's going on here. 1-800-5...
I agree with you that they shouldn't have taken it down because, I believe in free speech and all that good stuff. And, I don't agree with the content, but that's okay. But, I do think you do have the right to...
Wait a minute. Why don't you agree with the content?
Well, one of my beliefs is I have a strong belief in family and things like that. And I think that the sign ultimately, promotes divorce, where I think that, even if you have some hard...
People cause divorce, not lawyers.
Well,
how are we promoting divorce?
My opinion is that sign, says, hey, you know what? It's easier just to call us and get a divorce instead of trying to get some counseling and get some help. Just give it a call.
No, we're not saying that. We're not advocating rash or harsh decision-making. We're saying you need to think about it, and if you're unhappy, then you know what? Be honest with yourself. Have some personal integrity, and then come see us. We provide a solution.
I know, I understand.
We're not the problem.
You can see how, that's how I portray it. There's other people that see it that way, too, and that's why you're getting a lot of controversy and a lot of people don't like it.
By the way, Adam, I might point out that, I don't know if you saw the survey recently, from the census data, the U.S. Census, which has been taken every 10 years since the year 1790, for the first time, the majority of American homes are headed by an unmarried individual.
Correct.
Also, for the first time in history, a majority of women are unmarried.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you believe that family is important or keeps the country together, or marriage keeps the country together, whatever it is you told Dean when you called in. Well, if that's true, why are the majority of households headed by unmarried people?
Right.
Well, if you look at it now, look the way that things are nowadays. Violence is on the rise.
Violence is not on the rise. Violence is not. By the way, I hate to tell you this because we had the survey and we read the statistics and the methodology on the air. But violent crime has been down over the last 20, 25 years. And that has largely been attributed, if you can believe this, to Roe versus Wade, when people were allowed to get legal abortions, when less unwanted children were being born, when those children of that generation grew up, there was less violence.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Why do you think the divorce is on the rise?
Well, first of all, I don't agree that it's on the rise. I think it was on the rise and is pretty much plateauing at this point. I don't think there's any more divorce today than there was 10 years ago, for example.
I agree.
You don't? No, that's totally false.
No.
Oh, come on. You just gave
No, don't base it on me. Just because I've gotten divorced 3 times in the last 20 years doesn't mean...
Let's be truthful here. You know it's been on the rise, and if you don't want to admit it on your show...
No,
okay.
divorce... Again, Adam, you don't understand what I'm saying. Divorce, between 1950 and 1975, divorce went way, way up. But I think that between 1975 and now... There's still a lot of divorce, but I don't think there's more than there was in 1975. It's still about 1 in 2 marriages ending in divorce, which it's been for some time now.
Right. Well, no, I don't think your facts are right, but that's okay. I don't have
that's right. I'd love to hear your data, and you don't have any.
Well, you're just telling me that, too. You don't have data either. You're just
I do. 1 out of 2 marriages ends in divorce, and that has been the statistic for at least 20 years.
No, it hasn't. It's gone higher. Tom, give me a break.
Well, when you got the proof, you call in. Meantime, shut up. 1-800-5800-TOM is our... I just get tired of those guys who call up and talk out of their ass. It drives me crazy. Morgan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
You did it, not me.
Hey, Tom, how are you today?
Doing great, Morgan.